Hello, everybody. Welcome to Strategize Your Business Online, the live for entrepreneurs like yourself who are looking for a dose of business inspo and ways to leverage the online space so you can grow your company. My name is Dee Boswell-Buck, and I am the digital marketing strategist behind Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. And what we do is we help you to connect with your dream clients in the online space with strategy so you can grow the business that you love and earn more revenue. So, we are here for another episode of Strategize Your Business Online. And before we get started, I would love if you can share in the comments your name, the name of your business, your website, and who is that dream client that you service. Or perhaps there's more than one of those ideal clients for you. Let us know, share that on whatever platform that you're watching it, and I will be sure to come on in a little bit later and engage on the comments. Now we've been doing Strategize Your Business online since May of this year. And in the last few weeks, we have not only been streaming live on LinkedIn, but we've also been streaming live on Facebook on my business page, Dee Boswell-Buck. So if you are there on Facebook, and we're so happy to have you there, I will be going over to that area for the comments, and I will be saying hello and thanking you for watching. Now, today it is I. I do not have a guest with me. However, my team and we've been having a really great conversation, and we thought that this would be a really good topic to speak about today as we wrap up the year. Now, we have found out that, going out to some in person networking events or whenever anybody fills out our booking form, they share with us like what are some of the pain points that they're going through. And we saw that there were some similarities, and we decided that today we needed to do this live. And this live is titled Ask and You Shall Receive, the Power of the Call to Action. Now, if you've got a business, and this live is for entrepreneurs. So if you have a business, you are doing your thing. You are, in most cases, I know that there are some highs and lows, but you are in a leadership role. You are helping people with your zone of genius. And then you've been given the truth bomb that you have to be the marketing department as well. And one of the many roles of digital marketing, which a lot of people do not understand, is that you have to grasp human behavior and you have to also grab habits. So, what is human behavior? What are some of these habits that humans have? And then you have to use that knowledge and you have to bring it together so you can target your ideal clients, and you're going to target them through advertising and through marketing. And that could be not just through digital marketing. This is if you are listening to the radio, believe it or not, even though you might be listening to a radio station, you're kind of being targeted because that radio station, they have shared with the companies who are advertising on the station. This is our demographic. Our audience are people who love rhythm and blues. Our audience are individuals who love talk radio. Our audience, they are individuals who love to listen to sports, and they listen to it on the drive home. So now, we have more people listening on the drive home. You might notice that there are even more commercials. Or, all of those contests that you've been hearing on the radio stations, take a listen. and think about like what time of the day are these contests being held on the radio stations. In many cases, I don't know if there are any cases, but in many cases, the contests that are on a radio station, they're being held in the morning when people are getting ready, they're having breakfast, and they're taking that drive to work. Or the contests are happening in the evening, again, when people are on the way home to work, whether they're driving or maybe they're taking public transportation. There is a reason why those contests are not happening at 10 p.m. because less people are on the radio. So when a contest is on a radio station, well, now that radio station can say to a business who wants to do marketing that it is going to cost you this much more because we are going to have more people on listening, and this will be a great window for you to advertise. So again, it is looking at the demographics, and those demographics are things like what are the interests? So yes, I talked about the music types. What are the dislikes? And also, what are the things that you are doing as an individual, which would be the drive home. And digital marketing, it's not just about grasping human behavior, but it's also about convincing your audience, otherwise known as your future customers, to make that next move. And I wanted to really stress that part. It's about convincing your audience to make that next move. And that is because, one of the things that I have been hearing is that, well, I'm showing up and things are not happening. And then when I take a look at, say, a social media account, or I take a look at something that was put out there online, I see that what is missing is there isn't a call to action. There isn't something that tells your future customer to be your future customer. And this is what we are talking about today. So here we go. We are talking, or this live is titled, Ask and You Shall Receive, the Power of the Call to Action. Now, here are two things that we discovered. A, many business owners are frustrated. So many small business owners are frustrated with their current marketing. They show up, they share what they do, and they sell the stuff, or they put it out there to sell the stuff, and there's no response. It's crickets. And if there is a response, there has been cases where it's not from their ideal client, which means that the message is not clear. So you are putting it out there, you're showing up online. However, what you are saying to your audience, it's not resonating because they don't think that your message applies to them. And a different kind of audience is being reeled in, and your message was not for them. So that is A. B, so small business owners, they have many assumptions that their audience knows what steps to take to get the desired results that the business owner wants. So yes, these business owners, these entrepreneurs, they're putting it out there, and they just know that, okay, I'm going to put out these messages in the online space, on these social media platforms, or even in an ad. However, the audience doesn't know what is the next step to take. And I'm going to explain one of the big reasons why. Now, we always hear about how busy life is. It's so busy on social media. We're just busy with our own lives as well. Well, before we got on, I looked this up. This stat here. The average person sees around 10,000 ads per day, though only a quarter of that or less will be relevant. Are you kidding me? So the average person sees about 10,000 ads per day. And so I'm breaking this down. It could be about, that they see 10,000 ads a day, or they are in their car listening to the radio and they're being hit with those ads every single day. Um, I was getting breakfast ready for my daughter and we had the TV on. The ads were running. Those ads are part of the 10,000 ads that I am being hit with every single day. And I would love to know if in the comments you can let me know if you think that you have been hit or that you are being hit with 10,000 ads per day, because I think you are. And it wasn't just one article that I saw, because it was quite a few articles that had about 10,000 ads per day. And if you're a business owner, you are competing to get the attention of your dream clients who are seeing 10,000 ads per day. And this is why, outside of you making that commitment to show up for your business, as in maybe it's not always you, the person behind the brand, who is showing up, but your business showing up in terms of marketing. Outside of having that commitment to do it, it's very important that you have a set amount of measurable, attainable, not too attainable, and challenging goals. So when I say challenging goals, I'm a believer that if the goals that you have for your business are way too easy, your business is not going to grow as quickly as you would like it to. You're not going to be able to create as much positive impact as you would like to. So you want to have goals that are challenging, and goals that, when I say that they're challenging, it would be awesome if you can make them. But if you don't make these goals, you know what? You are most likely going to give yourself an amazing pat on the back, or take yourself out to somewhere quiet and get some, well, I love to get myself a slice of red velvet cake and just celebrate that win and see how is it that I can make the rest of my goals. So so you want to show up consistently, and you want to make sure that you are hitting the small amount of goals. Small amount meaning at least 3 goals. No more than 3 goals, because what tends to happen is that if we have way too many goals for our business, we're not going to hit it. Things are going to be watered down and we're going to end up feeling disappointed. And because things are watered down, we're not going to show up as impactful in those areas where we were trying to reach those goals. And again, it's going to get back to, you're not going to meet your desired results. You're not going to get that empowered impact that you were looking for. So I like to say 3 goals would be your max. I'll give you 4. On occasion, I have 4 goals. Now, what we did today in our team was that we decided that this would be great to talk about these 4 points. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 4 points. I'll list them one by one, and then I'll do a bit of a recap. Now, here is one of the things that people have an assumption about when it comes to showing up on social media, on any social media platform. They think that it is okay just to show up and just start sharing a social media post. And usually what happens is that businesses do this, and then they say, well, nothing is happening. This platform is not for me. Nothing's coming out of this. I'm not, I have not seen any positive impact on my business. And the reason why is that there was no research done on that social media platform and how to use the platform, how to leverage the platform so that it can create positive change for your business. Now, I love to share analogies. And what I do know is that if you're a business owner, and you decide that you are going to head out to a networking event in real life, and even on Zoom, or on an online platform, 99% of you, maybe there's that 1%, but 99% of you have at least done some research, because you said, before I head out to this networking event and hop into my car, take transit, walk over, I am going to do some research to make sure that this is where I want to be. Is this networking event that's happening going to be positive for my business? Will it be positive for me? Because sometimes heading out to a networking event, it's not just about the sale. In fact, I love heading out to networking events where it's not about like pushing what it is that you do. It's more about like creating relationships, but relationships that are going to help your business. And also, you'll never know who it is that you are going to meet as well. So before you go out to a networking event, and what are some of the things that you do? You find out about this networking event. You were probably drawn in by the title of this networking event. The networking event hopefully had some really great information about why it is for you. And then you do some extra digging. And I know that I do this, and I know many of my business besties do this as well. We go online, we see if there was a previous event, we try to go through the pictures to see who is it that we recognize, or how are people dressed in those pictures. And I say this because there was a time where a lot of these events, they would share the that invite list where people would say, yes, I would love to attend, and then you would see all the people who said that they are interested in attending. However, there are a lot of people who are holding these events, and they turn that off, whether they turn that off for privacy, or perhaps they feel that if people see that that list isn't large enough, it'll stop more people from coming out to the events. Nonetheless, you do some research, and then that helps you to decide, how am I going to show up for this event? Now, as you see, every single week, I love to wear bright colors. And if I'm not wearing a bright color, then I've got really big curls and makeup, and I love to have my nails done. Well, that's my brand. I am an introvert, but my brand is about getting business owners to show up in the online space, amplify their voices, and show up as the thought leader that they are. So it is better for me to, my brand is to, you'll see me, and people say that they recognize me because I walk in with a bright green blazer. I walk in with the bright yellow sweater. I I walk in with, things that are a little bit bright and matching that personality. Now, when you are jumping on social media, it needs to be aligned with your brand. And then when you take a look at who or what types of attendees are going to be at this event, well, it is the same thing with being on social media. Is Instagram the place for you? Well, do some research, because Instagram is not LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not Facebook. I do still believe that you can do some research and treat it as though you are getting ready to attend a networking event, because how you show up on these social media platforms is how, it represents who you are. You want people to take notice of who you are, and you also want the right individuals. Most likely, you don't want to attend a networking event that is not aligned. So before heading up on social media, please do some research. It will do you a world of good. Another assumption that I learned about recently is that you can easily grow your email list. Now, that's a statement that many people have. before they, get online. So they're a business owner and they know that they should have an email list. And I think all of us know that we should have an email list. And it sounds like a great idea. However, what tends to happen is that we put the things into place. We have a website, and on our website, there's a form. And on that website, it says, join our email list. And that's that. Well, believe it or not, whenever you get a visitor to your website, when they see that form, I highly doubt that they are just going to jump into that form, put in their name, and then add their email address. And I know this because when I do start working with clients, they do say to me that my email list is growing at a snail's pace. And or they say that it'll be lucky if I do get anybody joining my email list. And think about your habits. Like earlier at the start of this live, I spoke about behaviors. Think about your habits. Put it in the chat. And by the way, right now I see that Christiana is saying good afternoon on Facebook. Hi, Christiana. So great to see you. So think about your habits. And Christiana, maybe you can tell me this as well. But how often have you gone onto a website of a business and then there is a form there that tells you join our email list? First of all, most people, they think to themselves, well, it's my email. It's my email. I don't want to share this. And we tend to think that, oh, if I share my email here, what's going to happen is that I am probably going to get spammed. And I know that many people have that thought. And I don't want to take away from having a list, but I just know that that comes in the mind of many individuals that they might get spammed. But, hey, business owners, I mean, how dare we have it on our website, a form here that says to somebody, give me your email address. Okay, and then what? Give me your email address. Well, whenever you're doing marketing, think about what is in it for me. Not as in what is in it for me, the business owner, but put yourself into the shoes of the visitor who is coming to your website. What is in it for them? They're saying this. So they've come to your website and they're like, ugh, if I give my email, what's in it for me? So what I like to do is I will have a pop-up on my website, or every so often I have a social media campaign to grow my email list. However, to grow my email list, what we do is we will share out a free download, which, by the way, I'm going to plug it right now. We do have a free download called the 10 Essential Strategies for Your Social Media. And if you're interested in getting this free download, just let me know in the comments and I will share the link in your direct messages. But there's a thing. I don't assume that people are just going to willingly give their email address and not know what's in it for them. So I highly recommend for all business owners, if you want to actually grow your email list, share something back to your audience. So for us, we have a free download. It could be that you're sharing some great tips as to how to use your product, or you might be sharing like 10 ways to do something. Let people know. So yes, that was one of the things. We have the assumption that we're told to grow an email list and we think it's going to be easy. And we think that people are going to naturally want to get on our email list. And I told you that they're not going to do this. And I'm quite sure that most people who are watching this, they will let me know that if they've got a standalone form that just says, put your name here and put your email address here, there's a huge chance you are not growing your list as quickly as you want to. And another thing is that business owners feel that people will know. They'll just know how to get on this email list. Now, this came because I had a conversation with a fellow entrepreneur a few weeks ago, and I told her what we do. So at Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting, and after the live, don't go now, but what you can do is you can take a look at our social media posts. And we share social media posts on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on Instagram. And you will see that every single Sunday, there is a post that tells you that there is an email coming on Monday at 10:02. We share what the topic is about. And if you want in, send us a DM and we're going to add you to the list so you can get that next email. Now, when I told that business owner, she was like, well, no offense, but I think that's kind of silly. And I said, why? And she said, well, people just know that I've got a form on my website and they can just go and join my email list. And this is why I shared earlier that we want to give people a reason why to join our list. And when you are sharing your content, so let's say you're sharing your content on social media, you have to meet people where they're at. Here's another truth bomb. The social media platforms, they want to keep the people on that platform. So if you're on LinkedIn and if you share a link to another destination, which I do by the way sometimes, well, LinkedIn may not share that post. Like it may not work very well in the algorithms, as well as saying, send me a DM. So you have to meet people where they're at. And what we do is every single Sunday, we let our audience know that we have a newsletter coming out on the Monday. Note, when you do take a look at our platforms and you see that Sunday social media post, by far, it is not our most popular post. Sometimes it gets no clicks. Sometimes it gets 5 clicks. But I want to say that people are watching, and it's not always about like looking at those likes, which are the vanity metrics. And let me tell you what has been happening for Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. We do various things to grow our email list. I told you about the free download. Another thing that I do is when I head out to a networking event, I will show on my phone the page to my free download, and I will share the link. Like I'll send that link via text message to somebody who's speaking with me, and they could right away put their name on that form because it's going to take them to my website. They'll put their name on my form. They're going to put in their email address, and as we're standing there, they're going to get the free download. But back to what happens when I share that social media post every single Sunday. What is happening is that every month we are averaging right now, we're averaging about 5 additional emails just through that Sunday post. And what happens is that people get into my DMs and they say, hey, Dee, can you please put me, that topic sounds very interesting. Can you please put me on the email list? And I'm like, no problem. So that is 5. 5 times 12, that is 60 new emails outside of the fact that when I go to a networking event and I share how to get a free download, that is outside the social media posts that talk about a free download. I'm talking about 60 additional names to my email. And these names are from people who want to be on it. So now I have made sure that I'm going to increase my open rate. And another thing that has been happening from sending out these newsletters is that I have people who reply back to book a call. So don't assume that people know how to connect with you. Don't assume that people want to jump onto your email list. You have to give them something because that would be so nice. And, one of the questions that I do get is, how often do we send out our emails? We send out our emails every single week. And I would say that if you're going to send out emails and you feel antsy about doing it, at least biweekly. Biweekly is the bare minimum. And I'm looking at a note that I took here. Here's an assumption that we hear is that, oh, if I send out a newsletter to an individual, I'm going to be bothering them and they're going to unsubscribe. Well, here's the thing. If someone's going to unsubscribe, they weren't meant to be on your newsletter or on your email list. And if they want to get onto your email list because, you gave them something, then most likely they're going to stay on your email list. But yes, when you are sending out a newsletter every single week or bi-weekly, you are top of mind. You're also out of that noisy area we call social media because you are landing directly in somebody's email and they are opening up your email and then they can actually respond to you. Now, I think I've done enough about the email list. Now, here is another assumption that I have heard from business owners. This one really hurts me. When it comes to social media, we're not supposed to sell. And I'm wondering, is there a way that this sentence can be rephrased? Because we're running a business, and yes, you're running a business and you are most likely on social media because you want to book more of your dream clients. You want to sell more of these wonderful products or services that are going to help individuals. So I have some different ways of rephrasing the whole sentence of selling. And I'm going to use an example of somebody who I met, and she has a toy company and they do toys for Montessori. So, yeah, Montessori toys. And she said to me, well, you know, you're not supposed to sell on social media, because as we were talking and I took a look at her social media and I said, you don't have any call to actions here. You're posting things, but I'm not quite sure. Like, if I was taking a look at your social media, I'm not sure about what is the next action for myself to take. And she said, well, I don't understand. We're here on social media and we're told that we're not supposed to sell. So here is some of the advice that I gave to her, and let me know if this is something that you feel that you can kind of apply to yourself. Now, I like to think about, when it comes to your business, most people, they're not selling just one thing. They're probably selling two things, or they're selling three or four things, or, they're selling a few things. And then there's also getting people to join their email list. Now she has a toy company, and I asked her some information like, tell me more about your toy company. What is the age range for the children who'd be playing with these toys? And she said infants, toddlers, and primary. And I said, okay, good to know. And I let her know that when I took a look at her social media, all I saw was toys. Like, there was toys here that you can move things up and down. There were toys here that made noises, but all I saw were toys. And I have a child, by the way, who doesn't fall under this. So I want you to know, like, this is just me looking at somebody's feed. And we always want to think about, when somebody's looking at our feed, are they going to be very clear about what it is that we do? And I said to her, all I saw was toys. So here was the advice that I gave to her. So yes, I believe that we're here on social media to kind of sell, but there is a way that we can do it and also provide value. Because you know what, really, social media is social, but we got stuff to do, right? We're not here to always engage on social media. We want to add value and things like that. So what I told her is, let's break up your toys into different categories. We have a infants category, a toddler category, and a primary category. And then you want to grow your email list. So what I mentioned to her was that on Monday, show a post with a toy that is great for infants. And maybe you've got a baby playing with the toy, or maybe it's a carousel, and a carousel would be on Instagram where you're swiping through to see different images or to see a different video. Or, maybe she's on LinkedIn. So that would be, those sliding posts where, again, it kind of works like a carousel. But anyway, on Monday, share a post about a toy that is great for infants. And in that, you you make it a little bit long. You say, how is this toy for infants helpful? Well, it helps them with their dexterity, something to that effect. And then at the end of it, say, you make sure you say the name of that toy. And at the end, your call to action is, want to learn more? Send us a DM. Then on Tuesday, you share a social media post, and that post is for the toy for toddlers. And now you've got, of course, you have a toddler who's kind of like walking a little bit unsteady, but you see them that this toy, with a toy that is much more advanced than the toy for the infant, and you explain, why is that toy helpful for this toddler? Perhaps it allows them to walk a bit more. Perhaps it allows them to really understand the basics of their ABCs, something to that effect. And then the call to action would be, if you're on Instagram, to, click on the link and it'll take you straight to the landing page where you can purchase. Of course, you can finesse that, but basically, that one is a little bit more of a hard sell, but you did share value with with your audience as to why this toy is helpful. And then the next level, primary. Well, you share a toy and maybe it involves paint brushes and a bit of drawing, and you explain like what this toy is about and how it helps with motor skills and how it's really great for kids who will be entering in junior kindergarten. You know what? We have a free resource on this toy. If you'd like to have it, let us know. Put it in, send us a DM or share in the comments that you want to have more info, and we will share this resource. Well, maybe that resource is something that they can add their name and their email to. So now they know that you have a resource and they know how to get it. And then you now have their email address. And they're like, wow, not only did I learn from somebody's social media today, I got a free resource, because most parents and caregivers, they want to do right by their children and they are looking for those resources. So I really think that this individual has like a lot of opportunity to get that sale. As parents, and my child, she is a preteen, so she's not interested in these toys. But I know right now, whenever I am looking for anything for her, or I do remember when I was looking for toys for her, I want to make sure that these toys are going to be educational, they're going to be safe. So, whenever you're talking about your services or if you're speaking about the products that you are selling, you want to come from a place of education and letting the individuals know, or letting your audience know, what is in it for them. So, why is it that it would benefit them to work with you or to make that purchase? And I am just double checking my notes here. I know I have one more thing. So, talking about the fact that, we're not supposed to sell on social media, growing an email list is easy. And then there is the fact that, making sure that we do research before we get online. And my last point is an important point, because I want everyone to know that when you are using social media, you have to use the platform and use the tools on that platform, and that's it. You have to use the tools on the platform. Now, I know that there are many people who say, okay, I'm going to go on social media and I just like to share images, or I just like to, get in and get out, post something and run. And then what happens is that they feel that, okay, the marketing that I'm doing for my business, it is not being impactful. So here's the thing. When you are doing your research, when I talked about researching those social media platforms and you're showing up, in your brand colors because you're treating it like a networking event. Well, when you go to a networking event, you get into conversations. You might be sitting at a table. You're doing the things that the event organizers have set up to make it a successful event. Well, when you get onto these social media platforms, it will do you well to dive in and see what tools are available on that platform, because these social media platforms, when you use the tools that they are providing, your content will show up more. It's going to work much better in the algorithms. So, LinkedIn, I have been investing, and when I say investing my time into doing weekly lives. And I've been doing the lives since May of this year. And, my team, they are amazing. Shout out to Colleen, shout out to Denise. And they've been doing, very great things to help me to show up consistently online. And I say consistently because one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs are doing that I see is that they go out there and they get onto a social media platform and then they don't show up consistently, and then they wonder how come no one is buying. So your message is not clear, and another thing is that you are not being consistent. So you have to show up consistent. I like to say that minimum 3 times per week, and a sweet spot is 5 times per week, showing up consistently on the social media platforms. Now, I said that here I am on LinkedIn. I show up. The lives are great. I love doing the lives because it allows me to connect with others. And now the lives are on Facebook. So now I have more opportunity to engage with individuals in the comments that we never had that opportunity to engage before. And then also, like, things that happen whenever you have a Facebook Live, or if you have an Instagram, if you have a LinkedIn Live or a Facebook Live, when you schedule a live, did you know that you can go in and you can invite individuals? I don't blindly invite individuals. I literally take the time and tap through to see, like, yeah, this would be a great life for this person. This would be a great life for this person. And I tap through, and not only does that put Boswell-Buck Creative back on the radar for those individuals because they get that notification, but they also know that we are consistent. And these lives that we are having, they are being housed on the platforms. All the lives that we've done on Facebook, if anybody ever wanted to go to my Facebook business page, Boswell-Buck, Dee Boswell-Buck, they're going to see those lives there. All of the lives are being housed on LinkedIn. And lately we have been taking the lives and then uploading them to YouTube. We don't stream live on YouTube. So because we are using the tools on LinkedIn, we are using the specific tools on Facebook, more people are seeing what it is that our business does, and we are able to get in front of more of our dream clients. On Instagram, I show up differently on Instagram, where I love to share like funny reels. Could be that some of those reels could include me, or I love to repurpose reels from other accounts, always giving them credit and that are definitely in alignment with my brand. I don't do that on LinkedIn. However, me sharing more reels on my Instagram account, well, it triggers the algorithms, and then more people are seeing my content. And more of those individuals are the potential dream clients. So when you are showing up on social media, when you've made that commitment to show up, you have to show up consistently, and it will definitely be to your benefit to do a deep dive into that social media platform. And you don't have to do everything, but at least choose 1 to 2 things of choose 1 to 2 tools that you can use on that platform, because it is going to benefit your business and it is going to allow that platform to show your content because you're using those tools. So I am concluding the live today. This live again is called Ask and You Shall Receive, the power of the call to action. So, asking like social media, I want you to show my stuff to the world. You're asking, well, you will receive that if you take some of these tips and you apply them to your business. People, I want you to book a consultation with me. I want you to buy the thing. Well, I want you to get onto my email list. Well, more people will do that if you add that call to action. So, here are 4 things that I am going to challenge you to do that I spoke about. Do another deep dive into the platform that you are using. If you're on the platform already, do another deep dive. Is it aligned with my brand? Am I showing up the way I would expect individuals to see me if I were to go to a networking event? Should I even still be here? So I was speaking, I was in a consult call with my clients, with one of my clients today, and we kind of talked about this last week, and we decided like she's not going to be on Twitter anymore, otherwise known as X. She is going to be shutting down her account, and actually, she is quite active here on LinkedIn, so she's going to stay with LinkedIn. Yes. And we're going to be moving over to Facebook as well. So we're going to close that X account and move over to Facebook. So sometimes you got to do a deep dive. When I think about it, like there were networking events that were great for my business in year 1. However, there are networking events that are more aligned with my business in year 5. So you don't have to show up where you always were because maybe it's not in alignment with your brand anymore. So do another deep dive, do some research. I see that Mark is online. Hello, Mark DeLeon. Nice to see you. Long time no see. So that was point 1. Do some research as though you're going to a networking event. Point 2, do not assume that everybody is going to want to get on your email list. Think about yourself and think about how often have you gone to a website and actually given your email address knowing that you weren't going to get anything back? I'm doing shopping for, I do shopping online for my daughter. And let me tell you that when I go to a website, before things are in my cart and I make sure I move really fast. And before I hit that, I'm going to make a payment, I go back into the website to see if I join their email list, will I get another 5 or 10% off? And when I find that, ooh, yes, that company, they get my email. And I just want to say that for whenever I do go shopping, I do have a separate email account. And I also have an account strictly for like whenever I get onto other business owners' email lists. So don't assume that people don't want to get a newsletter. They'll make it work, but give them something back in return. So there is doing research, making sure you're doing research like a networking event. There is also making the assumption that people are going to want to freely give you their email. And the other thing, number 3, is that you're not supposed to sell on social media. No, you are a business owner and you're here to get more people to, warm up to you, to nurture individuals. And it could be that you want these individuals to book a call or actually buy the thing. So there are many ways that you can do that where you can, share value, share education, why the product and service is really good for that business for your audience. And then here's your call to actions. Buy the thing, but of course you do it nicer. Or another call to action is to send us a DM and we'll give you more information. So there are ways that you can sell. And also, it allows you to have a clearer message to your audience when you are sharing information that helps. And then point number 4 is that you got to use the tools. So if you are on a social media platform and you are sharing content in your own comfortable way, you're not always going to get the results that you want. So if you are on LinkedIn, fool around with sharing a live or upload a video. Video is always king or queen on whatever platform that you're on. Like use the different features on LinkedIn that LinkedIn provides to you. If you're on Instagram, you will find that if you are just sharing still images, not much is going to be happening. So, this is an opportunity for you to start using lives, going live on Instagram, or sharing a reel on Instagram. So, take a look at some of the tools, and then those algorithms, they are going to work for you. And the social media platforms, they're going to share your content to more of your dream clients so you could book more leads and earn more revenue and have the business that you absolutely love. So I thank everybody for watching. And if you are watching right now, or if you are watching the replay, what I said at the very beginning, please put in your name. Let us know the name of your business. So Mark, nice to see you again. Please put in the name of your business and how it is that you help your dream clients so that we all know how to connect with you as well. So please put that into the chat, put that in and say replay if you're watching the replay. And if you want to know more about how you can leverage the social media platforms, this is all great information, but I get it that some people, they just don't love doing the marketing task. Well, I invite you to reach out. You can send me a DM on whatever platform you are watching this on, or you can visit my website at deeboswellbuck.com and go to the contact page where I have a very short form for you to fill out. And then you will be able to book into my calendar a time when we can connect online, and then I can learn more about your business and we can talk about how it is that we can help you to stand out on the social media platforms, stand out as a thought leader that you are in your industry, and book more leads and earn more revenue. So this is the last live for 2023. I was about to say 2024. I was looking in the corner. This is the last live for 2023. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether you tune in live, whether you watch the replays, whether you watch everything on my YouTube channel. This, just to let you know, was huge for me. I always talk about marketing, as you know. However, I am an introvert, and these lives were supposed to start in January, and in I started them in May. So thank you so much for, joining me on my journey. And I will be back in January, and I want to